When beginning to think of a magazine title, I initially thought of the name Steel City, as this name links with the city of Sheffield and is short and snappy. However, after much consideration, I decided this was quite a boring and typical name for a Sheffield magazine, so I eventually came up with the name of Bright Lights. This fits well with my magazine as much of the content is based on the nightlife of Sheffield and the entertainment the city offers for young people. I had the vision of street lamps, bars and cinemas lighting the skyline of the city, which is why Bright Lights would be an ideal name. Not only is the name fitting of the genre of the magazine, it is also snappy and rolls off the tongue comfortably, which is a common use of titles of conventional magazines. As for the masthead design, I chose to use a soft handwriting style font which looks suitable for an entertainment magazine for young people and isn't gender specific. The results of my audience research questionnaire had shown that there was a split between males and females, which further inspired me to make my magazine for young people of both genders. I decided to have a soft brush stroke strike through the word lights, which gave the effect of a light shining through the masthead and is a visual aid for the term bright lights. The word bright is written vertically in a much smaller font, which makes the entire masthead look organised and tidy. I decided to cut small parts of some characters to make the masthead look unique and not plain dull. I took inspiration from the masthead of Toast magazine, as I liked their sophisticated but fun looking masthead style, which I thought would fit with the style of my regional magazine. Furthermore, the results of my preferred masthead question in my audience research questionnaire shows that most people prefer the Rolling Stone masthead, which is quite similar to Toast. This use of research links with Bennett, Slater and Wall's theory that all media production takes place in the light of all other media production. I am using another regional magazine as inspiration for my own. This is why my masthead will conform to the typical conventions of a regional magazine. From the beginning of the planning process, I was certain that I wanted part of my house style to be white, as it is typical of many magazines and works well. I was debating whether to have the house style of the magazine blue and white or red and white, because both blue and red are rather standard colours and are bright and attractive. I eventually set my sights on the colour red because I personally feel that it is a much warmer colour, and as mentioned before, it is gender neutral. As my target audience are both male and female, red and white is fitting for the house style. When searching for images for my mood board, I began to find different photography techniques which appealed to me and gave me ideas for a cover design. One technique in particular which I fell in love with was what is called the colour splash effect, in which the image is mainly black and white with only one colour or section of the image highlighted. I incorporated this effect into my media pack, in which for the first page I used an image of the crucible and only highlighted the multicoloured lights. When designing my thumbnail for the cover page, I had the idea of splitting the page into 3 rows, the top and bottom half being plain white and the middle containing the cover image, which would have the splash effect. I use this use of photography challenges conventions of regional magazines because the style of photography used is usually very simplistic, with little artistic style. My magazine will be a monthly magazine because the genre I will be focusing on is entertainment, which is a very broad topic. Because this is a broad topic, I would have a lot of content in the magazine focusing on a range of different subtopics like food, sport, fashion, etc. Furthermore, the entertainment in and around the city will be changing frequently, which is why I think it would be ideal to update the audience monthly on these changes. Not to mention the cost of printing magazines, say weekly, would be quite expensive compared to printing magazines which would be released monthly. Readers of Bright Lights can pick up a copy of the magazine for free. Copies of the magazine will be distributed to South Yorkshire Travel Company, Meadowhall Shopping Centre and to local news agents in the city centre. Hopefully this helped the magazine attract a large audience, as they would be able to pick up a copy on buses and trams, which are used by hundreds, possibly thousands of people every day, and at Meadowhall, which is one of the largest shopping centres in the world with thousands of visitors every day. In addition, because my target audience are aged 18 to 25, young people often use buses and trams as their main method of transport and visit Meadowhall as a place of entertainment. Readers can also gain access to a free digital copy on the Bright Lights website, which makes it easier for those who want to read on the go without having the hassle of carrying a physical copy around them. Because my magazine is primarily an entertainment magazine, the contents of the magazine will specialise in a range of different topics relating to fashion, shopping and popular entertainment venues, which will appeal to a young target audience. A variety of different articles relating to these topics will be listed on the contents page, along with images and page numbers to link with these articles so it's easier for the reader to navigate to different articles which would appeal to them. I am planning on advertising events at the Leadmill, which is a popular entertainment venue in Sheffield, who hosts a range of music and comedy events which gather large audiences each week, and I think it will appeal to my target audience specifically. I am also planning on advertising a clothing product of a popular brand which specialises in youth clothing, like Adidas or Nike, but relate back to Sheffield by it being a product which can be found at Meadowhall Shopping Centre, to fit with the conventions of a regional listings magazine. For my cover image, I want to have a model, probably a young male, stood in front of a graffiti wall looking slightly to the left. The model will be wearing casual clothing consisting of a bomber jacket with dark jeans and a red shirt. The red shirt is essential for the image, as I have the idea of using a colour splash effect with my photography, which will be achieved through Photoshop. The image will be black and white with only the colour red highlighted so that it fits with my magazine's house style. I want to create the sense of ideal self with the model through the use of clothing and body language as well, to appeal to a younger audience. For my adverts, I want to advertise events at the Leadmill. It's a popular event in Sheffield, as mentioned before, and use the colour splash photography effect on this as well with the neon red lighting, which I think would fit perfect with my magazine style. I also want to advertise a clothing product which would appeal to a younger audience, possibly trainers or a t-shirt.